Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Alright, well, we got a lot of stuff to do today, so let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? I shouldn't say this because it kind of takes away the illusion of a practice log or whatever, but it's Saturday right now for me. I woke up, I scrolled Instagram for like an hour, practiced my scales for like 45 minutes, and that was good. I feel good about that. So now it's time to actually practice. Yeah, and before we do that, I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit. I'm gonna answer some questions. You guys know what I do. And I have one in mind that I've been kind of thinking about, because I've been thinking about how exactly how to answer this, because it's a great question. Here it is. Alright, so this was my video, Classical Snob Critiques Most Popular Halloween Songs. That was a pretty good one, check it out. But we go through a lot of Halloween songs there, and of course, because why wouldn't it? The tritone is present in many of them. They're all like metal songs mainly. Because you know, the tritone's like a scary interval. And that's like a whole thing with the tritone, right? In like culture is like the devil's interval. If you ask like any person who's taken one music education class, they're like, oh yeah, the tritone, it's like, you want to avoid that, right? Like you don't want those in your music. That's like, it's like a mistake. Do you mean to put a tritone in here? Like, is that supposed to be there? Or that's how I imagine people are. I just like think very low of everybody, I guess. But this one is from Briander4336. Hello. Hey, friend of the channel. You said tritone definition, and you put a space between tri and tone, which is actually a good way to define it. Because when we say tri, we mean three, and when we say tone, we mean like not a semitone, but a tone, or a whole step, as I call them. It's 3 whole steps. And if you don't know, a half step or semitone is 1 fret, so a whole step or tone is 2. And then a tritone is just 3 of them. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. That's a tritone. That is just how we discover how to play a tritone on the guitar. There's more to it than that. But you said, elucidate me, bro. Elucidate? Did you mean educate? Is that like a word that I don't know? Or are you just being stupid? L-U-C...
Elucidate.
Elucidate. Dude, dang, dude, you're breaking out some vocab on me right now. Definition, make something clear, explain. Okay, I'll elucidate for you. I'll elucidate all over you. You won't know what to do with yourself after I'm done. What is a tritone? Well, I kind of just explained it. It's 3 tones or 3 whole steps in a row. How can we play the tritone? First way, open string, 6th fret, 3 half steps off of the open string. Which I think the song that we were looking at did like this. Pretty spooky, right? Alright, there we go. The next way is through string crossing. You can pick any note, like that one, the note that we landed on. Go up 1 string higher, and I'm saying up as in like pitch-wise, go up, and then go up 1 fret. So if we're on the 6th fret, 6th string, we go to the 5th string, 7th fret. And we can keep doing that. Tritone, tritone, tritone. When we get to the 3rd string to the 2nd string, we have to make it look like a regular power chord, which is up 2 frets. So like 9th fret, 11th fret, 9, 11. And then we're at 11, and then you go back to your regular shape. And that's like the most common way you'll see tritones. Of course, there are other ways to play them, like string, like 2 string crossings. That's like the easiest way. I don't know how many people are playing 5 fret span tritones, string crossing over 2 strings. But anyways, that's how you play them. Now, what exactly are they good for? Because they kind of just sound like nasty intervals, kind of like the minor second, where it's like, why would you ever use that other than as just like a horror effect? Like, just to go back to your question, what is a tritone? The tritone is the most important interval in Western music and in like the music theory that we study and the classical music that we play. It is the most important interval, and it does the most, and it is the reason why music moves as it moves, and it's the reason why we're able to pick a home key and modulate to other keys. It's everything. If you have a piece of music, it's basically just tritones, and then at the very end you have your major chord or minor chord. So the tritone is like the meat of everything. Now, what do I mean by that? This interval gets a lot less nasty if we give it some context in a major or minor key. So let's pick a major key, because major bias. In every major key, there's a tritone nested in it. So in G major, for example, the tritone that we have is F sharp, which is the 7th scale degree, and C, which is the 4th scale degree. And those happen to be the 3rd and the 7th of the dominant chord of G major, which is D7. The 2 most important notes in D7 are C and F sharp. And now the tendency of that tritone is for the F sharp to resolve up to the root, G, and for the C to fall down to the B, which is the third. So we have the 1 and 3, which is the beginning of the G major chord, which is like the tonic chord of G major. So we have tritone that resolves to the first and third. And that is what draws your ear to G. It's not the G major scale. It's not that, because you can easily just emphasize a note like A, and it sounds more like Dorian now, right? But I'm playing G major. I know I'm like really emphasizing A there, but you could pick any note in G, and if you just play the scale, your ear can be drawn anywhere. But the way that these notes interact right here brings your ear to G in a way that we describe in music theory as like functional harmony. This is the beginnings of functional harmony. The dominant to the tonic. And when we say functional, like the actual function of the chord there is supposed to be distressed and then resolves. Like the first thing I would do is just try to like look at the scale that I talked about, like G major or something, and find the tritone in there and then see how it resolves, which it resolves in a way that's quite nice. Like it's just half step resolutions where the F sharp goes up to G, C goes down to B. Like who hasn't heard a symphony that ends like that? So that's how we establish keys with tritones. And something to keep in mind too, because I feel a little self-conscious about it now, I am improvising this like tritone lesson. You just asked me what tritones are, so I'm just kind of giving you a bunch of information. So if this isn't coherent, feel free to like ask more stuff. So, you know, I'm just gonna keep going. That's how we use tritones to establish our key, our tonic home key. Now, we can also use them to modulate anywhere, and the most common places to modulate are to the 5 or to the 4, which, and what I mean by that is like 5th scale degree, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we want to go there, we have to introduce a note that's going to give us a brand new tritone that will then resolve to where we want to go. And I'm doing that by taking our 4th, which is part of our original tritone, and I'm moving it up a half step to be the leading tone of the key that I want to go to, which leading tone is just a half step below where I want to be. And in doing that, G, our original root, and then now C sharp, which has been raised, will now resolve to D, and G will resolve down to F sharp, the 4th and the 7th of the key that we're going to. Resolve by half step to the 1 and the 3. So C sharp up to D, G down to F sharp. And now the 3rd is the lower note in this case, so I'm in like an inversion. But it doesn't really matter. It's still the same notes. And that's modulating to D from G. A very simple modulation. That is the bones of the modulation. And then you add more notes, which I'm not going to attempt to do because it's going to sound like crap. But you can keep modulating to the 5 of whatever key that you've modulated to. Start with your tritone that's found in G major, which is implying D7. Resolve it to G. And now add in your C sharp, which makes a new tritone leading to D, and then resolve that to D by moving them up and down by half step. Alright, so now we're in D. Let's introduce a new tritone to go to the 5 of D, and we can do that by moving the F sharp up to G sharp. We now have that tritone shape. That is now the 4th and the 7th of A, which is the 5 of D. And now we can go to the 5 of A by shoving C sharp up to D sharp, which is the leading tone to E, the 5 of A. So we're continuously going to the 5, which is kind of a weird sound. But when you're playing Bach and you're seeing accidentals, that's like a lot of times what the accidentals are. So if I play like this for my fugue, recognize that sound? That's the same idea as like... It's the same idea, but with more notes and better voice leading and just more intelligence in general put behind it. And then we resolve. What happened there? Yeah, so you can hear examples of that, like, all throughout any Bach that you're playing. So that's modulating to the 5. So resolving to the 4, we have our tritone, resolve to the major 3rd, and now our major 3rd, that's the first note, drop it down to the flat 7. Now we have a new tritone, that's going to resolve to the 4. And then we keep doing that. So the root of my major chord is that note. It's like a minor sixth shape. It's an inversion. Drop the root down to the flat 7, and then resolve. And then root down the flat 7. You run out of frets, and then you have to figure out how to like change strings while doing that, which I'm not going to do right now. But I can try to add bass notes. You get the idea. Really, my point with saying all this, which is this has been a very long and rambly tritone like explanation, but that sound that you hear in Bach and like any sort of like music that has that sort of sound, where it's like the circle fifths movement that just sounds like you hear it in jazz too all the time. That is really what tritones are. Like that's how I see them. They are just this engine for driving harmony forward and making stuff sound awesome. So that's what a tritone is. But yeah, so, you know, hopefully that was something. I kind of just wanted to talk about that for a while. Well, I guess I'm gonna practice now, so let me know if you have any questions about anything. Yeah, I'll see you in the piano. Back to the old greasy grind. I think I'm done yapping, so I'll see you on the other side. Okay, you know what? I haven't practiced for that long, but I have stuff to do today. It's Saturday, y'all, and I've already practiced a lot off camera. I'm gonna play my fugue, because we talked about tritones. Alright, let's play a little game. Leave a comment how many tritones you catch, and whoever is closest will get a special prize. God. Alright, well, how many tritones did you count? Whatever. Alright, I'll see you in the outro. I'm done. Hey, well, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. Hey, want some guitar lessons? I offer guitar lessons. I'll teach you some stuff. Classical only, of course. What else we got? Join the members section if you want to support me, or get some merch. That also supports me, too. And, of course, members, you can ask comment questions. They will get first priority, so, you know, it's kind of special. It's like you get your own little guitar teacher, only paying $5 a month or whatever. Not bad. Alright, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. I'll see you in the next one.